Hey everybody, welcome to the Protecting Outcomes podcast. I'm your host, Brian Rooney, and as always, I'm here with my brother Devin Rooney. This podcast is about learning how to be better every day and learning about how to protect the outcomes that you want.
Ew.
Today, we're not going to talk about the book today. Well, we might a little bit later, but today we're going to talk about getting in a funk where you just feel off and how you get there and what to do to get out of it or what we do to get out of it. So Devin's probably going to do a lot of talking today. He's been in a funk and I'm going to ask him some questions and
We'll see.
see if he can give me the right answers.
All
Uh,
right.
so tell everybody kind of what's been going on, Devin. I know you had hernia surgery.
Yep.
So you're feeling like you can't do some things that you want to do. Just tell me about that.
Yeah, so the other day I was just kind of, I don't know, I woke up, you wake up and we're big on mindset, and you guys will find that out. I tell myself every morning, I write a lot of things down for how my day immediately is supposed to be. Today's gonna be a great day. And I did that.
Use it. You can
Yeah,
choose your day.
yeah, absolutely. Because if you don't choose it, it chooses you anyway.
No.
So it's just, I wrote that out that it was going to be a great day. And then I was just still in this just weird, upset mood, kind of just frustrated and not really sure why. I got to thinking about it just a little bit. And I have a 4 to 6 week till full strain from my surgery, a recovery. And I want to heal properly. But I just realized yesterday that my funk was because I want to work out really bad and I can't. And it took me a while to get out of that. I know what my outcome's going to be. This is why one of our programs that we've been doing was the 75 hard program. And I take progress pictures every morning. And I've still been doing that. And it's been hard not to judge myself through this month of not being able to work out because it's definitely not showing the results from the working out like it had been for, I mean, almost a
Yeah.
year.
So that probably kind of feels a little bit like a self-inflicted plateau.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Because you chose to have that surgery done, get you fixed
Hmm.
up. I mean, you probably
Yeah.
could have lived with it, but
Yeah.
it's a simple thing, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, and that was, you know, protecting another outcome was sure there's tons of guys that live with this. Having this and just being open and telling people about it, I could not believe how many guys were like, "Oh yeah, I have a hernia." And I'm like, "What are you doing? Like, you just have it? It doesn't hurt?" And they're like, "Yeah, when I pick stuff up." I'm like, "No."
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so I was like, I want to continue to work out and be
Hmm.
healthy so I can, I told Emerson, my daughter, she's 9, she was like, I don't like you not squishy, daddy, which I thought was super cute. But at the same time, I was like, I'm not gonna let you beat me ever. You have to beat me yourself.
You've gone too hard. Maybe
Yeah.
you went like 300 hard. How many days are you on? That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. So, like, you're kind of out of your funk now, hopefully.
Yeah.
Maybe you seem like maybe you're not, but you had a long night last night. Were you guys
Hmm.
up super late?
Yep.
Yeah. So, what's fun about one of the fun things about the 75 hard and the things that become habits for you is, during the program, there's no alcohol. You can't consume alcohol. And so I've done a similar thing probably to what Devin did last night. They celebrated some things and had some drinks. And when he got on this morning, he's got a
Yep.
hangover patch that was on his forehead. I was like, what the heck is that?
Here, I'll put it back on so
Yeah,
everybody
there
can
you
see.
go. Hey, if people are listening and not watching, they won't even know that that's there if we don't say anything.
That's why you got to watch it too. So do both. Listen to it and then watch it.
Yeah, there you go. What we find is that when we decide to go have a few drinks, it takes a lot less drinks than it used to feel freaking terrible the next day, or at
Hmm.
least feel off, and then get off track for maybe what you had planned for the day. At least it does me. I lose all my motivation if I have three drinks,
Hmm.
once every 60 days. If I have three drinks, I'm worthless the next day. My brain fog comes in and just I have no idea what I need to do that next day.
Yeah. Yeah, I woke up this morning and I think I woke up at 3 a.m. and I was like, oh, I'm gonna have a massive headache. I should drink a glass of water, take Advil liquid gels, and put on this
Mhm.
head patch. And I accidentally fell back asleep immediately. So I woke up at 5:30 and was like, well, okay, this is why I don't drink because this is not worth it.
Yeah,
Not at all.
it's and the feeling when you do that is that you just get confirmation that it's not great for you because your body's like, that was a terrible choice. I'm
Yeah.
gonna make you suffer.
Yeah. And the good part, I mean, the good part too about what we have been doing about getting healthy and in shape, for me at least, is like it's nowhere near as bad as it used to be.
Yeah,
I still don't like it, but it makes it really easy to be like, I'm not doing this. I'm not gonna do this.
not gonna do it again,
Yeah.
at least for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what else is going on besides that? I gotta tell you, I had a funk kind of for like 2 or 3 days this week, and
Mm.
it's because the shop's been slow. My service advisor had some daycare issues, so she had her youngest at the shop, which is perfectly fine. She was off her game because her child was at work, and everybody in the building was off their game. My service advisor runs the show, and she interacts with every client that comes in, and she interacts with every technician in the shop and all of our parts people and all of our vendors. And then I was like, man, I can't fix this for her because I'm a fixer. I want to fix everything.
Yeah. And help
And
people. Yep.
yeah, and help people. And I'm like, I don't see how I can help her with this. So we got through the week, got to yesterday morning, and I remembered when I woke up to decide clearly that I was gonna have a great day and that everything was gonna work good at the repair shop for the day. And I got to work, and the first thing that happened was Paige came in, no kid with her. Well, I can't say that. She did have her there. She had her with her until 9 o'clock yesterday morning. But when she came in, she said, she'll be gone at 9. And then it's been slow. So, like, collecting money's tough when it's slow because there's not money to collect when it's slow. And then the first client that came in yesterday morning paid their like $1,500 bill. And I
Hmm.
was like, oh yeah, now we've set the pace for the day. We can go
Nice.
1,500 bucks every 4 minutes all day long.
Well, can
Oh,
you tell them what you told me? Because I thought the other day when Paige had her daughter there,
mm,
you asked her a question. It was about her mindset.
Oh yeah, because she had already decided that she was gonna have a really tough day or a bad day or a long day because her person that was supposed to watch her daughter for the day had some family stuff come up and couldn't do daycare for the day, so she was thrown off. And I was like, you remember that you can decide what kind of day that you have. Because when you woke up, you decided this day's gonna suck because I have to take my child to work again, and I wasn't planning on it. And it was gonna be a crazy day at the shop because it was really busy that day. And I'm like, well, you can choose now the kind of day you're gonna have. So just decide that today's gonna be a great day, and it will be. And she was like, oh yeah, I forgot I can do that.
And then did you feel the energy shift?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's that's the thing of why I wanted to do this podcast, besides getting to chat with you, on a regular basis, was like it's real. You live your thoughts. It's
Yeah,
freaking real, and I want people to know that. And it's it's a little scary because you have to fully trust it. You have to fully trust that you are going to live your thoughts.
yeah.
And yeah, just
Well, so think about it, right? If you think about the crappiest days that you've had, and if you can remember how your day started, right?
mm,
When you woke up, you were probably already thinking about that you had to do something that you didn't want to have to do, or that you were going to have to cover for somebody else because they couldn't be there to do their stuff. So you have more tasks to do than normal. So as soon as you wake up, you start thinking about that your day's going to suck and you don't want to do the things that you have to do that day. And how does your day end up? Every time. So understand that there's power in your thoughts and what you tell yourself, because if you tell yourself you're going to have a shitty day, guess what kind of day you have. So
yep.
that is proof that you can choose to tell yourself that your day is going to be amazing and awesome and things are going to go your way. So just choose your day,
Yeah.
choose to have a good day.
And I think you had told me the other day, I mean, it's like Mel Robbins is always saying micro choices, right?
Yeah.
If you make the micro choice to pick your phone up first thing and get on toxic media,
Yeah.
like I there was another funk that I was in that was much bigger, and it was really backing up and sitting with myself. Like that's kind of the thing I wanted to get through to everybody, or like anybody who listens to this podcast or watches us. Like, what you focus on affects you big time. I was
Yeah.
like, man, I'm mad. Why am I mad? I'm not a mad person. I'm a super happy person. So something was off with me. I couldn't really figure it out, and I was like, you know what? I forgot that this happened before. I had been watching a lot of like YouTube clips of the media and politics. And I was like, my wife asked me like if I knew why I was so upset or like grumpy or whatever. And I
Hmm.
was like, I think it's because I've been watching a lot of YouTube, and it's been a lot of what's in the political media these days. And I stopped watching that. I like blocked and deleted and said these aren't for me. And I
Hmm.
put my focus on the positives. Like that was the days you were talking with me and our other brother Sean about getting the positive stuff. Like
Yeah.
I had also said that, the algorithm for the videos or anything that we talk about was gross. Like here is the mindset shift right now. Is I was like, this is gross. And you were like, well, just put in the Mel Robbins,
Yeah.
the Ed Milet's,
Yep.
the Andy Frisella, and use it for good. And then I was like, oh, yeah, because our phones obviously, listen, it's not conspiratorial. It's
Yeah.
real. Everybody knows that. Plus,
Yeah.
I have my Siri on, so
Yeah.
don't respond. So you go to open your Google tab and it's like almost pre-filled out with what you want to look
Yep.
for.
Or the
So
ads and everything, or the things that you've talked
yeah.
about or searched for. Yeah. Yep.
And then as I have been
We have no
reading,
factual data on that. It's just what we're observing,
yeah,
guys.
we and everybody knows we don't need to. But the you saying that, well, it's kind of use the algorithm for good. And I
Yeah.
was like, you know what? This is exactly where it is your thoughts and what you talk about and focus on come to fruition and are what you live. You reap what you sow.
Yeah.
Your thoughts are how you live because I was like, oh, if you wake up, don't make the every micro choice you don't make is one that you actually just made.
Yeah. You made the choice to not make the choice.
Exactly. So if you wake up and you
Uh,
don't choose to say today's going to be a great day, you have officially chosen
the
the
opposite.
opposite.
Yeah. Yeah. For
It's
sure. Which, and we don't want people to feel guilty about not choosing their day when
no,
they wake up.
not
That's
at
not what
all.
this is about. This is just, we're giving you tools that work for us. And to go back to that algorithm thing, when I told Sean to use it to your advantage, right? So the social media stuff, I know you were off of it for a long time for
Yeah.
reasons that were important to you and your family. But now we recognize that those are tools for us in this podcasting and my book and promoting and actually even for personal growth for us on a level that's like we get to use the tool to choose the things that get put in front of us because we know that the things that you spend your time looking for, searching for, clicking on and watching for 10 seconds or whatever, that stuff keeps showing up in your news feeds and your reels and in all the social media places. And since we know that that happens, if we search for the things that we want to put in our heads to keep our mindset on growth and positivity and that kind of stuff. I mean, I literally every single day when I get on social media, I make sure that I click on something by Gary Vaynerchuk. I look for Ed Milet if it's not already in there and see if he's got a daily short. Mel Robbins always shows up for me because I've been
Yeah.
listening to her forever.
Me too. Yep.
She's got some great stuff. And
Yeah.
we're not doing this to name drop or anything, but like use these guys if you want to be better every day, right? That's kind of my mantra, better every day, because I believe we can be better every day than we were the day before. And
Yeah.
so, like, if you are searching for those people, they're talking about real life shit, like things like choosing what kind of day you're gonna have. That they talk a lot about that. That's not an idea that we just came up with magically. We've learned that from hearing that from those influencers and podcasters and from reading their books and implementing the things as tools. So you can use the algorithm to put the stuff in front of you all the time. Just choose it and stop choosing the stuff that's bad for you. Stop choosing the politics stuff. Don't watch it.
Mhm.
Everything's geared towards
Yep,
some
absolutely.
outcome that they want.
Yeah.
Whether it's good or bad in your mind, everything is geared in a direction. So just don't watch the stuff that gets you turned up, gets you upset, makes you want to go have an argumentative conversation with your spouse or your kids or whatever. I mean, I
Yeah.
know like you said, Devin, watching that stuff kind of it will
It
change your mood and
it
probably your
weighs on you.
mindset.
I think it's because none of us want to be angry with each other, but because of what's in front of us and what we've watched and what's in our reticular activating system, your
Mhm.
RAS, you're like already programmed to go to confrontation. If somebody has a different viewpoint,
Right.
I think that's been the coolest thing about our conversations is it started a long time ago when you asked me like, "Hey, I need to ask you this thing," and it's controversial and it's big, but like at the end of the day, we're family and we love each other. So it's okay to have a hard conversation and
Mhm.
have differing opinions.
And
So,
so it's okay to have differences of opinions and different beliefs about something and have a conversation and just listen to the other person and not get angry that they don't think the same way you do, or not be like, I'm not talking to you anymore. I think that that
mm,
happens a lot.
yeah.
Well, I know that happens a lot because I've had people that don't want to talk to me because of where I stand on some things, but those things for me are my standards
Hmm.
based on my beliefs and my programming and my
Hmm.
thoughts. And
Yeah.
that's just me. And nobody's going to change those things for me.
Yeah.
But I am 1000% willing to listen to your position on something.
Hmm.
And I think
And
that's part of what's wrong with the world is people are not willing to listen to what somebody else has to say about their quote unquote side of it because it's not the same as what they think.
yeah, and I love what you're doing with your shop because I think as we've talked over this last year, when somebody is coming to get a job with you, you're looking for someone to fit the culture,
Hmm.
not just can do a job
Yeah.
and your culture is personal growth. Because when I have conversations like this or I'm around people, when it is a heated topic, because I invested in myself and my own brain and I'm like determined to grow, the people that struggle and, have to threaten you to scare you, to keep you down. One of the guys I worked with I asked him if he learned anything when he went to a training thing, and he's like, I know it all. I didn't learn anything. And I was like, I learned something new every day. You
Yeah.
learned zero things from that training, a week-long training. And he's like, nope. But being in the growth mindset and being okay in uncomfortable situations and conversations, I'm now asking question or maybe not necessarily asking the question out loud, but I'm thinking in my brain like, okay, it seems like they're maybe upset about something deeper, like something more personal that happened with them,
Mm.
and they're not really hitched on this political thing so much because if you start to just be curious and ask them, as opposed to like we had this together where you brought something up and I was like, probably a year ago, I would say I need to start out and get my point across.
Hmm.
But when you're growing and changing, I'm like, let me let me try to understand his point of view. I'm loving this personal growth stuff, and I'm excited that your shop is that's what you have put as your standard. Like, this
Yeah.
isn't just every other shop. This is we're gonna work together on a personal development plan for you guys to grow,
Yeah.
which is amazing. Which is why I wanted to do the podcast because I want to help everybody grow that's willing to do it.
Yeah. So one of the things I'm realizing is I feel like that the personal growth for me just got very front of mind because I started focusing on it really hard like a year ago.
Weird.
Yeah. And like I understand so much about it and how it worked or how it's continuing to work for me and helping me that I'm realizing while doing this podcast and then listening back to it and editing and stuff like that, that I have so many hopes and like aspirations for my people in my head because I know how much better everybody can be all the time, that I'm realizing that I don't spend enough time talking with them about those things, like the personal growth stuff. My standards are for our culture in the shop. And, you know, when we have an issue with somebody that doesn't seem to fit the culture because they're, I don't know, I think a good example is somebody that's just not truthful all the time, stretching stories and exaggerating like crazy about stuff. That doesn't fit our culture. And when we have something like that going on, I'm just, my standard in our shop is I know that when that's going on, I feel weird about it. So our standard is when somebody feels weird about a situation that we talk about it. We don't
Yeah.
just let it b- bottle up and just stay bottled up. We talk about it. And I've always been the one to bring it up since all of this personal growth stuff got really intense for me because I know that those conversations are hard. And I also know that the more you do hard things, the less hard the hard things are.
I was like, I'm trying so hard not to interrupt you, but
Yeah.
this is like, this is what we've been going through
Hmm. Yeah.
is just like, I wanted to grow because I didn't like how I wasn't okay in an uncomfortable conversation. Like
Hmm.
victim of abuse for 6 years under a manager, would shut down. And I want to say this is a big thing that I noticed about me with our dad. Anytime the conversation would take a turn to religion, I had noticed that my body physically did something
Yeah.
different. And I was like, huh,
Yeah. Your
why?
physiology changed because of the conversation. Hmm.
Yeah. And I
Yep.
was like, and I noticed nothing that he said went anywhere in my brain.
Mhm.
It's like I went deer in the headlights in
Yeah.
a
You shut
tunnel.
it off.
I got frustrated and
Mhm.
was like, I'm not even listening and or I'm not challenging someone to have a hard conversation. Like I feel like I'm the victim in this scenario, but it's like conversations are a two-way street and
Yeah.
there's two people involved. So, you know, I had talked about focusing on being okay in hard
Mhm.
conversations. And then you and I got to chatting about that
Same.
and same topic because you were dealing with personnel things
Hmm.
at that time that you were like, yeah, it's a hard conversation and it's gonna be bad. And now you're like, it's not hard. It's actually harder not to have that conversation because
Yeah.
they're never
Yeah.
as bad as you make them out to be.
Hmm.
And I mean, you might get the one that is. I mean, have you ever had that yet?
No, my mind always makes it seem like it's going to be worse than it actually is. But what I know about that is my brain's job is to protect me from doing stuff that stresses me out, or I might get hurt or injured or whatever. So my brain's job is to protect outcomes for me. And
Hmm.
so that means my brain keeps me from doing hard stuff because hard stuff requires extra energy. It might put me in at risk for injury or whatever. And
Hmm.
or I might get put in a spot where it makes me struggle financially. And I know now that that's my brain's job. So now I know that I can just be like, okay, but I'm still going to do it because my experience has told me that it's never as hard as my brain says it's going to be. Its job is
Hmm.
to talk me out of doing things that require effort.
Yeah. And I also wanted to say, because, other people might be going through it. and
Mm-hmm.
hopefully we can help them with this podcast. Like I was noticing I had a day, like you're talking about emotions in the shop, or if something's weird and then you just ignore it and it
Mm-hmm.
starts to bottle up.
Yep.
Mine was I was getting overwhelmed with whatever I was dealing with. And I remember, for those of you that can't see the video here, I had an issue and I pictured that I set it on my, like, all my emotions were up at my throat. And then I visualized stacking that one on top and shoving my feelings down with my hand, like a physical thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I think I need to get some help. I think I just need to do some therapy for a little. Like, how do I know when I need therapy? And I talked to some of my friends at church, and both the guys were in therapy, and they're like, now,
Yeah.
this
When you're
is
asking, it's time.
when you're asking, it's time, and it's okay. Like, that was a big thing for me as well, too. We were never told that therapy was bad or for crazy people, but like, that's kind of the weird stigma I had around it at first
Yeah, and me
was,
too. And that's because of, I think that's because of the environment that we grew up around. Therapy wasn't something that people did that you talked about.
hmm
I mean, if you were in therapy, it was because there was something wrong with you that it needed to be fixed,
yeah.
right? That was my programming, if you
hmm
will, on what therapy was. And honestly, when you were in therapy, I was like, it's probably a waste of money.
hmm
But I've not ever needed to do therapy, so I don't understand that from someone's perspective of needing help.
Yeah.
So, and I'm
And
not bragging that I don't need therapy and that I don't need somebody to sit and talk through stuff. This is my therapy.
yeah.
Thank you,
And
Devin.
that's where it was just what I needed at that time because it took me, I mean, I think I was in therapy for 3 years and it took me a long time to understand that like I I I went to therapy because I was like, why do I need affirmation, love, whatever from someone else? What's wrong with me to why I can't give that to myself? And it was a lot of work through that, but I think it was talking with you and understanding kind of the positivity mindset that you had been on, getting your quote unquote algorithm for your positivity and what you're focused on. And it was like, it really hit me to where, you know, I had told Cassie and my sister, because Bridget, she had was starting therapy. And I was like, yeah, you should. It's good for you. But like, I'd get on, and then my therapist would dump emotionally for 15 minutes of my 60-minute time. And I was like, I don't, she's too negative for me. And I'm done being around this.
Yeah.
This is the cutting the toxic relationships out of my life because I'm in control of me and what I'm around. And it is, and then I graduated therapy, quote unquote, but it, and I asked you, I said, hey, I don't want to put this on you. You're not my therapy, but like, can we do this on a regular basis and chat? And you were like, yeah, I was hoping you'd ask me that.
No, I was like, no way. Pay somebody else for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll not help
So
you.
I paid you in giving you permission to
Yeah,
write your book.
you did. Yeah, I've been overpaid for all future therapy sessions.
But
Uh,
what I'm getting at is your mindset shift is freaking everything. Your personal growth is everything. What you choose to be around and put in your circle or in front of your eyes is it's everything. So keep it positive. Just
Yeah, and you are what you choose to think about.
yeah.
Remember when we were kids and they'd say you are what you eat? So don't eat junk food or whatever.
Yeah.
We never listened to that until we were like
Yeah.
40.
That's probably, yeah, I was like, that's probably why we were like, "Well, I do what I want. I'm gonna eat junk food."
Garbage in, garbage out, right? So I ate
Yeah.
garbage and did ridiculous things for until I was like 42.
The garbage in, garbage out right there made me think it was that pet video too. That was one of the most powerful videos for me was the that your inner dialogue is your strong, should be your strongest dialogue. So
Yeah.
if you are putting garbage in, putting yourself down, telling yourself you're stupid, all this kind of stuff, telling yourself you're fat, like you'll find that you have a harder time, quote unquote, being smart or losing weight because you have set in your brain what you are. And I'm
That's
not saying,
because, go ahead.
I'm not saying people don't struggle with weight and that that's the sole thing that's going to give you six pack abs is changing your mindset, but it is major for me of my mindset around what I was searching for from other people that I needed to be able to give myself.
Hmm.
And it was because I wasn't telling myself. As soon as I shifted to I am super smart. And then we're doing this and
Yeah.
getting the blueprints, figuring out here's our blueprint from where we grew up. We talk a lot about programming
Hmm.
because we do a lot of programming in the automotive world with the computers on cars because everybody thinks you just plug a computer into a car and it tells you how to fix it. And
It's funny.
why
I
do
had
you
that conversation with a client yesterday.
why do you charge so much money if you
Yeah.
just plug it in and it tells you what
Tells
to
you what
do?
part to replace.
That is not what happens.
Not even
Um,
close. I wish for the money we spend on diagnostic equipment that it would do that. It seems like it
yeah,
should for what it costs, but it doesn't.
yeah,
Yeah, so what you were saying, I think probably where you were going was the programming that we do with the modules on the cars makes them do whatever the desired outcome is, right?
yes,
So you can use that as a metaphor to you have a hard drive that you can program with the things to get you to the outcomes that you want. So
yeah,
outcomes became really important to me when Devin helped me figure out while I was writing the book that, okay, so I'm probably going to say this on every freaking podcast. When I started writing that book, I intended for it to be titled High Value Employees from the Owner's Perspective. And as I was writing and as I was like recording and transcribing my audio to get my chapters and stuff put together, Devin and I were talking, and he's like, I think you need to change the name of the book.
I was like, this book's not titled this, dude.
I don't remember exactly the conversation, but you were like, I think you need to change the name of this book, and I think it should be protecting outcomes. And I was like, at first I was like, nah, it's my book. I'm gonna call it whatever I want. And then about 5 seconds later, my brain goes, wait, zoom out. Okay. That actually makes a lot of sense because everything that I had already written about it, what were we like 14 or 17 chapters? The book has 20 chapters, and I think I had 14 chapters done when you told
Yeah,
me that.
yeah,
And I was, I just went, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that's what it needs to be.
I remember what I had said. I had said, hey, it's your book and it's your choice, but I think you got to rename the book, and I think it's got to be Protecting Outcomes.
Yeah.
And it was like, honestly, I don't know what happened in your head that I never knew you had the, no, it's my book and I don't want to change this because sorry, I got on a path right there because I'm reading a book right now and it is How to Have the Conversation. It is Never Settle for Zero. And it's literally name what the worst thing or what somebody's going to be offended about. And I did it. I was like, hey, Brian, this is your book. You can do whatever you want with it. I'm not trying to tell you to change this. But I think since Brian was sending me each chapter when it would get done so I could read it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where's the next one? Hurry up. Where's the next one? And then I was like, this is not, I think your title is wrong. It's about protecting outcomes. Because almost immediately you were like, yup.
Yeah. Well, because I was so deep into it because I was daily focused on writing the book. I mean, I probably was spending at minimum 3.5 to 4 hours a day putting everything together for that book. So I was 100% immersed in the content of my own book. And then that was an easy decision.
Yeah. 3 to 4 hours in a day when you already don't have any time as an owner.
Yeah, well, and that's just a decision, right?
Yep.
Like everything else we do, you decide and then you take action on it. I, there are only 24 hours in a day. Somebody's probably going to be upset that I say that you can survive on 5 to 6 hours of sleep a night for a really long time, but it works for me. I've been doing that since I was 18 years old. I'm going to be 44 this year. I think I'm going to be 44. Yeah, I'll be 44 in June. So, however many years that is of 5, 6 hours, sometimes a lot less sleep than that, it works for me. So that means that I have 19 hours in a day to do things that will move me in the direction I want to go. So I'm at my shop. Well, here's how my day goes, right? I'm up at 5. I go to the gym for an hour. And then I come home, take a shower, walk my dogs, I make breakfast, and then I go to work early, usually 7 o'clock, 7:30. And then I work until at least 5:30 every day at my auto repair shop. And then I go home, I have supper, and then I do my second workout for the day.
Mm,
And some people will say that multitasking is impossible, that you can't do more than one thing at a time, which I believe on a certain level, but you can because you can mindlessly do a 45-minute outdoor workout by walking or riding a bike
yeah.
while simultaneously doing a voice recording of the thoughts in your head for the to write the chapters in a book. I literally wrote my book entirely. All of the content in my book came from walking and recording my voice and my words for 45 minutes during my outdoor workout every day
Yeah.
for 2 months. Call it 2 months. It was probably like 6 weeks, but
I know.
maybe 5 or 6 weeks. Uh, but yeah. So here's where I do my book pitch today. Go get my book, guys. It's called Protecting Outcomes. You can just go to protectingoutcomes.com. It'll take you straight to the link where the book is for sale on Amazon. Right now, you can get it for Kindle and it's available on paperback. We're waiting for approval on the Audible version of the book, so that's coming soon. But yeah, get it. And I'm telling everybody now because yeah, if you're watching, you can scan the QR code on Devin's screen there. But what I'm realizing is that protecting outcomes is so moving on a certain level for people who are just looking to be better, or maybe they don't know that they can just have conversations about protecting outcomes at work and at home, and it will improve their life. So what I'm learning from people that are giving me feedback on this is that I need to make sure that everybody understands that you can protect outcomes for somebody else when you buy the book. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to buy two books, not so I sell two books every time I sell a book, but because you're going to get 3 pages into this, guys, and you're already going to have somebody in mind that needs to read this book. I
Yeah.
can guarantee you that
Yep.
just based on what people have told me that they've gotten out of the book. Most people have said, I read it cover to cover and I couldn't put it down.
Mhm.
And this is me patting myself on the back. I've not ever done that before, never really wanted to take credit for anything, but this book is such a game changer for people, and it's simple, it's an easy read. Just go get it at protectingoutcomes.com. You will not be disappointed. Yeah. Yeah. So we talked about being in your funk
I was
and
gonna I was gonna ask you, how are you dealing with your expectation was set that it was going to be 10 days for
yeah.
your Audible to be up and running, and you sent me a photo last night
Yeah.
that it's in like step one of
Yeah,
four in the
one of
process.
4 phases is completed. It shows that 3 of them are in process, but I feel like they set my expectation to be maximum 10 days
Mm,
because yesterday was day 10, so my hope is that maybe at the end of day 10, then it releases the next day. But they had set my expectation at 10 days. So
yeah,
I'm like, oh, okay, that'll be great. Because it said 10 days or less. But now I know that the more situations I have that cause me to practice aggressive patience, the easier aggressive patience gets.
mm,
That's like that doing hard things makes doing hard things easier.
yeah,
Same kind of deal. So I'm just patiently waiting. If people have Kindle Unlimited, apparently Kindle Unlimited will read to you.
yeah, yep,
Yep. So if you got to have it in an audio kind of format and you have Kindle Unlimited, do it that way. That's great
yep.
too. But if you are waiting to hear my book in my voice, it'll be available
It's
pretty. I'm just ready for it to be available because I want to listen to
yeah.
it.
Oh, that was the other thing that I wanted to ask you because on your 19-hour days,
Yeah.
because I had tried to talk with some people close to me about,
Ooh, we're going to talk about burnout.
yeah, exactly. And
Uh,
all all the positive people that we listen to, I think we talked about it last episode, was being on your journey on the way out, and who do you talk to is the people on the way back down the road who've
yeah.
already done it. Is
Yeah.
like, don't ever not do something because somebody else already did it.
Yeah,
That's your
100%.
that is your brain protecting you from doing a hard thing.
Yep.
But if the hard thing is what you're passionate about, say thank you and move through it because
Yeah.
everyone is different. I said we could almost literally say the exact same things that these people are saying, and I get it and I understand because they're right. It
Yeah, they are.
works.
Yeah.
It works.
It 100% works. Yep.
So
Yeah.
it was the topic of burnout, and I was trying to explain because I have been like on top of the world over here and like aggressively patient because we had talked about the structure of this podcast
Right.
and how we're going to go through your chapters. And I got in a little funk because I'm like, I love that. I want to do that, but I want to do so much more. I want people to like write in, have questions,
Mm,
eventually call in and talk with them and help them through struggles that they're dealing with. I didn't know that I wanted to be a coach and help people
yeah.
this much. I mean, I always knew that. That's what we were raised to do, was to be kind and help others.
Yeah.
And we were built to deal with the hardships and the tough things, the abusive managers for 6 years. Like, we just showed up the same way every day. Maybe a little more anxiety because I let my mind say, oh, I have to go work with that guy today. It's going to be fucking terrible,
Right.
as opposed to choosing it to be a great day in the
Mhm.
morning.
Yeah.
But I finally understood what you had been feeling of, I'm on 3 hours of sleep and it doesn't matter because
Yep.
I couldn't sleep because I gotta go. I gotta get this book
Yep.
out.
Yep.
And so they were just, oh yeah, burnout.
So let me tell you guys about burnout. And hopefully you guys can just understand that this has been my experience. I don't know if it works this way for anybody else, but Devin can tell you that when people talk about being burned out because you work too many hours, you don't get enough sleep, you're barely making ends meet, so you're stressed out, whatever, all of that stuff contributes to burnout. So I have experienced physical exhaustion from all of the things that I do and lack of sleep at times. Uh, but burnout is not about physical exhaustion. Burnout is about mentally being at the end of your ability to continue doing daily things at length, like at extended lengths. If you are like me and you love what you do, you'll never get there. You'll never get to burnout. I can tell you with 100% confidence that I have never hit burnout, and it's because I love what I do, and I don't do things that I don't love to do. That's part of me choosing. Well, that is me choosing. That's 100% what that is. I choose to do the things that I love to do, which is I love talking to people. I love fixing cars. I love running my auto repair shop. I love spending time with my family. I love podcasting with my brother and hopefully my other siblings soon. And so that's why I can continue to do all of those things for 18 to 19 hours a day because I love it all.
Yeah.
So
And I
someone will
am,
try and prove me wrong and tell me that I will burn out someday, but I won't burn out until I'm doing stuff that I don't like doing.
well, and that's the thing too, is like that inner voice has to be the loudest voice
It is the loudest voice
because
because you are the person that you trust more than anyone else in the world. So when you decide to tell yourself things about yourself that build your confidence and that don't tear you down, and you tell yourself that story all the time,
mm,
that's the story that you believe the most because you trust yourself more than anyone else in the world.
and that's kind of what I'm going through. You're gonna be tested and challenged, and people are gonna try to knock you off because this is it's a mindset thing. It's
Mhm.
where they're at and their struggles and what they focus on. They want to drag as many people into it so they're not alone. You just don't, people don't want to be alone,
Right.
but you cannot let, and that I'm struggling with this because of something that happened the other day. And when I say struggling, I mean just I'm thinking about it
Sure.
because I'm like, okay, here is somebody who is straight contradicting and challenging what I believe. And so we knew this was going to happen, but this is where I got to stay true to my voice and knowing from my experience what I'm doing is working.
Okay, so everybody remember that once you see protecting outcomes clearly, you can't unsee it. And once you operate in a way that you're protecting outcomes all the time, everything changes. The end.
Amen.
Hallelujah, pass the ammunition.